When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you are listening to 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, to the thing at the foot of the bed. I am one of your co-hosts. I see Howie Odell there, tipping my non-existent hat back at you, Howie. And I will pass it over to my amazing friend and co-host in just a sec. We always get the housekeeping things out of the way. My name is Lorilei Potvin, and like I said, this is the thing at the foot of the bed. I am a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor. I guess I'll say retired nurse. I still use my nursing every day, but I'm not actively working, so I should say retired. I'm also a budding animal communicator. I'm well-versed in near-death experiences, having studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years, and having had one as a toddler myself. And I'm very well-versed in the paranormal. Was never by choice, but it found us, and we've shared our experience on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivors Season 4, Episode 9. And as a small little fact, I always forget to add, I did not know her then, but this is how small the world is. Our own incredible, amazing Michelle DeRoche, who is coming up next with the Outer Realm after our show, was actually a consultant on that episode. Anyways, if you like what you see, everybody's filing in here. We're going to say hi to you as soon as I finish all my ramble here, and then Dave's going to jump in and we'll say hi to everybody. But if you want to join in and you want to join the conversation, 80% of our audience, our listening audience, is audio only. These are the people that are able to watch the video, and we'd love to have you join us. We do broadcast on this network, UFO Paranormal Radio and United Public Radio Network. We just call it UPRN. In every country in the world, believe it or not. This network has been around for 25 plus years. We stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. When we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and randomly picks shows over the last 25 plus years. There really is something for everybody on this network. So please tell all your friends and family. I hear through the grapevine, I think we're almost up to 40 hosts on this network. So we really do have every kind of show you could possibly think here. So if you want to join the conversation, where you can do that, you can head over when we're live, like right now, which I guess is Thursday night. It's May 23rd, 2024, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can head over to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on Facebook and YouTube. You can also head to my amazing co-host here's Facebook page, which is They Whisper to Me, and he's also streaming on his YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience. I'm streaming on my YouTube channel, which is The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin, as well as to my own Facebook profile under Lorilei Potvin. It's public, so anybody can comment or join in on there. We're also streaming on Instagram under The Angel Rock. You guys, your comments are not integrated on the chat here like the rest of them. It's coming apparently, but not yet. So I'll try and pop in and say hi to you, but we're not purposely ignoring you, because both this show and the other show that I host, The Angel Rock, here on this network on Monday nights from 6 to 8 p.m., both of them are very audience participative. Dave and I can talk forever. I just said that before we went live, and time flies, but you guys always make it so interesting. We have the best audience. You guys ask the best questions, add the best comments, and you all are really kind to one another. So we really appreciate that. Also, if you want to watch us on TV, you can. We have have a Roku channel. How you find it is you go to the channel store, you're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list, and we're about the third or fourth one down. You're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio, and that's how you can watch us. I got to make sure you check my little list. I usually forget something. I don't think I forgot anything tonight, but the last thing I do want to add, excuse me, come hang out with us here in Thunder Bay, Northwestern Ontario in Canada. It's actually where I live. This October 4th to 6th, 2024 for the Lake Superior Paranormal Convention. Tickets are available now. There's VIP Plus, Supernatural, and lost my place here, Supernatural and VIP pass tickets, and they are limited. I know there's over half sold. This is actually being put on by a local paranormal team here, Lucky Paranormal, a wife and wife team, Mel and Gail Willis. They're actually over in the UK posting pictures. You guys got to check out their pictures. They caught something on camera in one of the castles a couple days ago. So anyway, there's going to be talks, there's workshops, there's going to be a paranormal investigation and vendors. Some of the guest speakers will include Shane Pittman, Jeff Belanger, our own Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, who's a very good friend of mine and a host on this network. Her show is on tomorrow on Fridays, Spirit Switchboard from 6 to 8 p.m. She's an incredible medium, psychic, paranormal investigator, and just an absolute sweetheart. And she's going to be doing a special event on the Sunday afternoon called Spirits and Sweets. And she's going to be giving messages from Spirit, and the people that are there will be able to enjoy these delicious, wonderful desserts while she's doing that. We're also going to have the Travel Channels Beyond the Haunting, Chris Rutkowski, he covers UFOs and Bigfoot. D. Macaulay from Dark History, he's also local here. He's been on the Angel Rock before. We also have the Winnipeg Paranormal Group and many more, including myself. I will be giving a talk, and I also will have a merchandise table there. Busy, been working on Halloween stuff for the last couple weeks, or months, I should say. So hopefully I'll have enough stuff. So if you do want to check that out, please go to Lake Superior. It's lakesuperiorparacon.com for tickets and more information. We'd love to have you there. Love to meet you in person. Finally finished talking, Dave. Take it over.
Okay. While you were doing that, I went in and I shared the Instagram one to my feed.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you for doing that. So people can join you.
I went on that and then back and forth. Hey, everybody. My name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium. I am also an experiencer of near death. I started studying them after mine, which was in 2015. I'm also a channel and a medium and animal communicator and angel communicator and a lot of things that Lorilei is, except I'm not a nurse.
And we were just we were just talking too that we think we might be heading over to Etsy too. We were looking at.
I might be going over to Etsy to do some email readings there, but you don't have to go to Etsy to do that, you guys. You can also just go to my website. It's probably going to be a little different, and it's under my name here. But anyway, hi everybody. I'll start from the top of the list and start saying hi. To Howie Odell, hello, Howie. Jennifer M, how are you? And then we have the Miss Cindy Simpson. And then bringing to the stage Kathy Hanley Little, Mary Erickson. Wait, where are we next? To Mary Erickson, same Mary Erickson, Jennifer M again, Leona McAvoy. And there's Mr. Roger Garza, Senior. Hello, Roger. How are you? I hope everybody is doing well. Lorilei has been kind enough to pull up some videos for us to watch and talk about. And also, once again, anything you guys want to talk about, anything you want to throw out there in the live conversation, please feel free. There is no stupid question. We'll probably get to it. And if Lorilei and I, our deal is, if we know about it or have experience in it, we'll chat about it. If we don't know about it, we will look it up and do some research in case you guys want to talk again. But we mainly don't talk about things we know nothing about.
No, but we did that, remember, with the Appalachians, like about
we went and looked it up. Yeah.
We came back the next week.
Yeah, and did it. I know, I still love the Pugwudgies.
Mary Erickson, I want to just give her a quick shout out. Thank you. Okay. She said liked and shared. That really helps us out. So thank you for doing that. Also, Roger, say hi to Faye. I know she's probably sitting right beside you. So hello, Faye, and hello to everybody. So yes, I did pull up a video. Actually,
is it a scary video?
There's some weird things in it. And then actually, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn sent me this video. Actually, I shared it in the group. We forgot to tell them about our group. Dave, you want to tell them?
Oh, yeah, you guys. Listen, besides just being on the radio on the podcast here, we do have a group on Facebook called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel Medium. And Lorilei puts the videos in there that we show on here. You can post stories. You can, if you have anything you'd like us to discuss, you can show us a story or have us read a story. Anything you want. And it's a private group, so you're safe in there. So if you want to talk about really weird stuff, that's the group to do it in. We're all cool with it.
And when we get to 200, what happens, Dave? We're getting up there. People are joining after every show.
Once we get to 200, then Lorilei and I, once in a while, will do a live in the group and do like some card pulls for you guys. Just all free, just fun. Do some card pulls, do maybe a few psychic readings for you, so on and so forth. That'll only be for the people who are in the group. So as soon as we hit 200 followers, we'll try to do that on a regular basis.
Hi, Sandra Sharp. Hi, Diane Brighton. So Roger asked a good question. I know I have an answer for it. What he asked was, have either of you ever been attacked? I don't know. Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
Attacked by like a spirit?
Mm-hmm. That's what I think he's asking. Yeah.
No. Not in the sense, no, not in the sense of that would make any sense to anybody. No, I've never been attacked where it was a very terrible thing at all, ever.
And I can show you pictures of the attack if you want. I haven't found them, but I will find them for you. Yes, I have been attacked.
Lorilei, yes. Lorilei, yes, David, no.
All of my family has been attacked in my previous home. My partner, Dell, has been thrown 15 feet across the kitchen. He didn't even tell me about it for 2 days till I noticed a big cut on his elbow because he's still a skeptic, which I believe is very healthy to be a skeptic. We have to debunk, can't just jump every time we hear a noise and assume it's paranormal. And he had thought it was 3 o'clock. We're both night owls, and it was about 3 a.m. in the morning. He went up to make a sandwich and he was bent down in front of the fridge. I did not witness this part. He told me about it because I asked him how he got the cut on his elbow. And all of a sudden, he felt like he got zapped almost. He wasn't touching anything, though. And he flew across the kitchen almost 15 feet into the countertop. He claims, and for him to claim this, because believe me, he is a skeptic. Like, he will debunk everything 6 ways to Sunday and still try to find an answer out. He said he was trying to find the mustard. But the weird part was when he stood up, the mustard, he didn't see it fly over him. He said he turned around, the mustard was on the counter. He will tell you that story word for word to this day. I know one morning he woke up and I looked at him, and I have pictures of him. Happy to show them to you. He has these, they look like thumb or fingerprints on his arm. And I said, what happened to you? I said, because he was an iron worker at that time. And I said, like, did you really get banged up at work or something or what? He goes, no. I said, yeah, I didn't notice that on your arm last night. And the first thing I said to him is, what were you dreaming about? Because he has the strangest, weirdest dreams. So it's my first kid. They'll tell you the whole story. Remember every detail. Take 15 minutes and is weird, but interesting. Anyways, he goes, well, I was dreaming about fighting something. And I go, well, what were you fighting? He goes, I don't know. It was black and it was really crazy. And I said, you know what? Let me check the rest of your body. I haven't even told you this story, Dave. And I did. And on his backside, right just below where your belt would be, it looks like he had been bitten. I have shown this picture to people, cropped it obviously, because it's in a personal area. I'm going to be showing somebody's butt cheek. But when you look at it, it looks like it's had like pointed teeth go in there. It's not a human bite. I have a picture, and I've posted these and shared these with the public too. I was combing my hair in front of the mirror and had I felt burning on my chest, and I was just in a bra, but it looks like a bikini top. Like, it was a really pretty bra, so I didn't care posting it. You can't see anything, but there's a red handprint on my chest here. above where the bra starts. One time I was talking to a paranormal team. They were Canadian. And as I was talking to them, we were ending the conversation. Oh boy, we got to get rid of that right now. Hang on, guys. Just give me a second. Block. And then we're going to...
Don't friend request that person, you guys.
Yeah, they're blocked. So that's gone. Yeah, we got to get rid of these trolley trolls here. Take the garbage out. Yeah. Anyways, well, sorry, what was I saying? As I was talking to them, we were ending the conversation. I started feeling some burning on my tailbone. Obviously, this picture I don't put out in public either, because it was at the top of my tailbone, but I have shown it to people. I went and looked in the mirror after I got off Skype with them, and I had a blister about this size. Well, it was perfectly round. It looked like someone had taken a cigar, and I had a big burn on my tailbone. So yes, we have had many a thing happen to us. I've been choked. I have been scratched. Dell was scratched. I've had all these kind of things. My kids, I have a picture of my son, the one with the autism. He woke up in the morning and said, "Mommy, my neck hurts." And I said, "Where?" And he showed me the back of his neck, and I have a picture, and it looks like a big bruise right across the back of his neck. So yes, we have definitely been attacked.
I have to say, do you know what? When I go back, I didn't say attacked because this wasn't an attack thing, but I guess it warranties that. And that's where
something physical happen. How about that? Or even psychically, you could too. You could be psychically.
Oh, it wasn't, because I was in a really bad relationship years ago. It wasn't a good relationship to be in. And I slept in another room. And for a while, I was going to bed and I kept having a dream of this. It was a dark figure, what some people would call a shadow being. Mm-hmm. And the shadow being would always watch me, and I'd always wake up to that. He was always way down, like we were like it looked like a giant parking lot. And he was way down at the other end. He would go back and forth. And when I walked, he would follow me, go back and forth. And I would wake up and I'd be like, okay, that was really real. And it kept happening over and over. And my relationship kept getting worse.
And
then one night we had kind of a falling out, and I went into my room and I went to bed, and all of a sudden that same dream, it this time it was a little closer, and where I walked to the left, it walked to the left. Well, it not really walked, it kind of was floating across. And all of a sudden, I stopped in the middle. It stopped in the middle, and it just jumped up and just started flying towards me like an airplane jet really fast. And right when it got up to my face, I woke up. And when I woke up, it was standing in front of me with the pillow. And I put it over my face, and I woke up again. And I went, oh, my God. And right after that, I don't know what made me think of it, but I went into the other room and I said, it's done, broke up, this is over, I'm done. And to this day, that was the last time I saw that being. So yes, it was a weird way that it got me the message, but I don't think it was there to hurt me as much as just to show me what was happening in my life. So, after that all happened, I thought, well, thank you. Thank you for scaring the hell out of me and making me realize something. So it did for me.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing had I not experienced what I'm experiencing. And the most scariest thing that happened that I should have remembered to tell, it's actually the only thing they got right in our paranormal survivor episode in the reenactment. I didn't sleep a lot. I just couldn't sleep. And I was in our craft room, or the laundry room workshop in our basement. Our bedroom was in the basement. And Dell had put a camera in there because there was a lot of things going on in that room as well. And apparently he says he could see me on the camera. And this only time this happened, I was sitting there, and he said my arms were kind of moving up and down, almost like it was a marionette puppet. And then he said I stood up and I was yelling and talking to something in the corner and laughing. All I remember is he came in there and he was yelling at, like he was really, really, he wasn't verbally abusive, but really aggressive. Like, you need to get out of here. You need to get out of here now. And I said, don't talk to me like that. And I was so angry, and I don't get angry. Like I was really like almost feeling like full of rage. And as soon as I left that room, I was fine. And I said, what the heck just happened? So he told me what happened. We were laying down in the bed, and it was about 4 a.m. when this happened. And I was still thinking about this, thinking like, what the heck happened that I don't remember? He says I was doing this. And again, we had cameras, and I've mentioned this before. They would not record. We had people in to fix them. We'd had people look at them. We had all kinds of things like that happen with our house, but you could see it. We had a big giant TV screen on our dresser, so you could see all the cameras, what was going on in our bedroom. And as I was laying there, and Dell, my partner, was laying on his left side, so he had his back to me, all of a sudden he started shaking like he was seizuring. And I jumped up out of bed and jumped over him. And I kept thinking, geez, afterwards, I'm surprised I could do it because I do have a bad back. And I remember shaking him, going, Dell, Dell, Dell. And it was his voice, but it wasn't him. He was going, I'm okay. I'm all right. And so I literally picked him up and sat him up, and I'm shaking him and shaking him. And all of a sudden he started choking. And I, being a nurse, I've seen some pretty strange and unusual things. This black stuff started coming out of his mouth. I kid you not. And it was like, I was grabbing something just to catch it. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he's choking. He's choking. I couldn't even grab my phone. Our bedroom was in the basement. I thought he was going to die. And I'm thinking, God, I wish I was in a hospital. At least I would have had a suction machine. All of a sudden he came to, because he was out of it. And I said, what the hell is it? What just happened? He goes, I don't know. He goes, all I know is I felt like my ribs were breaking and I was choking. And I kind of kicked myself, but I don't. I remember thinking, should I take a picture of this stuff that came out? It looked like, the ultrasound gel that they use for ultrasounds, but it was black, but not like black, like charcoal, like black colored, like ectoplasm is the only way I could describe it. And we never found out what happened, but after he almost died. So after that happened, one of us stayed awake all night long to watch over the other three. He would some nights if I was really tired, but I still to this day don't know what happened.
No, I grew up with, I guess you could call them poltergeists, but they didn't poltergeist is poltern, meaning noisy or rattling, and geist is ghost. So when I grew up, why I do what I do today is because from like age 3 or 4 all the way up into my, teens, every house we moved to had activity. And
you said that every house was haunted. Yeah.
Every house we moved to that I was in up until I had moved out. And when I moved out and got my own apartment, but I came back one time when I was really young, they didn't follow me back again. But they didn't follow me to my apartment either. They just followed us through the houses growing up. But they weren't experiences like Lorilei's. I mean, they were, for me growing up, it really got to be annoying after a while, just because, it was scary at first when you're a kid. You're like, you're calling mom and dad going, the closet door keeps opening. Then they go upstairs and they'd walk into the room where the closet is and they're like, it's latched. It's like, no, it's opening. I can hear it, It would slam. And then they started hearing it. And then the ghosts started contacting my parents. The funny one was my mom. Every night a ghost kept saying my mom's name, going Joyce, and she would wake up in the middle of the night and go, shut up and leave me alone. And she would do this. It went on for a long time. And all of a sudden one night, I kid you not, my mom said, leave me alone, bother Dennis, which was my dad. The very next night, my dad all of a sudden wakes up. What do you want, George? Why are you moaning? She's like, I'm not. I told George she used to call him George.
Yeah.
She told George to leave me alone and bother you. So that house was kind of, they never hurt any of us, but sometimes I know, like for my mom, it was a bit unsettling, but you know what? It happened. And to this day, my mom's like an avid watcher of ghost shows and all that. She loves it now because when she watches it, if somebody else is in the house, she'll be like, that's real. That stuff's real. She'll say all the time. And she doesn't really go too
Yeah,
much
but
into it.
it's not common what we went through
Yeah,
with
it's
her
not
story.
common.
It's
Yeah,
not.
it happens. So for anybody who's thinking, "Oh, I don't want anything to do with the paranormal, spiritual, because they're going to come attack me," no, it's the chances of it something terrible happening to you are very slim. And like we said earlier, from what happened to us, in hindsight, it's what made us who we are today. So
Plus, the other thing is, okay, so that's why I've become so knowledgeable in the paranormal. Because I mean, I didn't know anything about this stuff, but I've had strange things around me my whole life too. And I realized every time we tried to get a hold of someone to come and help us, they either got pulled away in a different direction, or they would get ill, their family members would get ill, something would happen, there'd be a death in the family, an accident, something. And I was constantly connecting with people that were psychics and mediums and trying to get answers. And I got it from quite a few people that this was something we were meant to kind of figure out and deal with. And they were right. And you can deal with it, because what I understood about energy, and I used to hear, raise your vibration. You got to raise your, I used to say, what the heck is that? Now I understand, because like attracts like energy.
Yeah,
now, were we in a vibrational state that we were attracting this? No. But what was happening, it starts to pull people apart, because one person would, experience something nobody else would, or it's almost like the energy becomes like people start to argue when they're in certain rooms, money gets affected, health. So that's what happens. Your energy starts to become almost like you're depressed or sad. It seems like everything you try and do, but you're still not helpless. Once you understand this, you can manipulate the energy, raise the vibration. Once I understood that, knock on wood, but we didn't have any more physical attacks in the house.
No. And that's basically what a lot of this says for anybody listening. And if anybody watching, if we're on Earth, let's say we're vibrating like this, because everything's vibrating. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is, not even a tree. It's actually still vibrating. So we're about like this. The spirit world's like this. I always say it's like a fan. If you have a fan and it's on low, you can see the blades. That's kind of where we are. All right. Now, the spirit world is when you turn it on high, you can no longer see the blade. But I'll tell you, if you take your hand and go like that, you're going to hit something, because all it means is you just can't see it because it's vibrating higher. So when Lorilei was talking about raising our vibration, what we're doing is going from this, and we're moving our vibrations moving a little faster. When your vibration is moving faster, you're just kind of open to a lot more energies that are out there. The way we are right now, it's like swimming in pea soup. I mean, that's why we're so slow. So when people tell us, it's when mediums do readings, what we do is we raise our vibration as high as we can get it, and we keep it there. And then the spirit world slows theirs down. So we're vibrating on the same level. That's how we can pick out the words, the materials, the validations, and so on and so forth. Without that, we wouldn't be able to do it.
And that's the thing, right? Once you start understanding about that, you know what? I seen a really good video somebody sent me, and I would never have thought in a million years he would have understood about these type of things. But there's the actor Terrence Howard. He was on, I never watched it, that Atlanta, it was about Atlanta culture. I forget the name of it, but he was the first Iron Man. He was his sidekick, if you will, Robert Downey Jr. sidekick and what have you. And then they said there was quite a few things out there saying he was a real jerk, and he was this, and he was that, and he was this. But I watched a fascinating interview with him, and it's not the first time he's talked about this, but he actually was talking about exactly what you were, Dave, about energy and the vibration. And you should see the patents that he holds, including he got into it. Now, it's hard to follow. I know Joe Rogan, you could kind of tell he was the same way. You got the gist of what he was saying, but this guy has no engineering background or anything. And he actually talks about, the interview started, he asked Joe Rogan, what's your earliest memory? And Joe Rogan goes, I don't know. And I think I would have said the same too. Like, can you remember the first time you remember something from your childhood. He can remember back to when he was conceived, when he actually entered his mother while she was, and that's a terrible word to use, but when he became one with the fetal body, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
And then he talks about, you'll hear in the spirituality field quite a bit, downloads. He was given a lot of information that way. And when you listen to this, and he really gets into exactly what you were just mentioning about energy and some of the inventions that he's come up with, that he's got patented, I'll tell you, he could certainly change the world. I don't think he's BSing. I think he's telling the truth, but he gets it, like sacred geometry and all of this stuff. Like, he really understands about energy and how it works.
Well, there has been, I shouldn't say it, but since everybody will just blow off because I'm just some paranormal medium on a show, so I can say it. There have been things invented way long ago to talk to spirits and actually do all these things. And I know Tesla had come up with some other people have
Tesla quite a bit, and Albert Einstein, and no, but these were things, and I'm almost wondering.
Did you notice that all those scientists who did a lot of those inventing, they were all very spiritual people?
Well, that's what he was sort of talking about, and he didn't say it, but I almost, with feeling into it, think he may have been tapping into ET energy. He talked a bit about extraterrestrials. It almost feels like he got some of those downloads and from ET. He didn't say it per se. It just sort of felt that way from hearing the way he was speaking.
Yeah.
And then building off of Tesla's stuff and not, he didn't say Edison, he said Einstein, and then he was talking about tweaking it and changing it, and he said theoretically there are no straight lines, and he got into why there aren't and explained it all. It was really, really fascinating conversation. It's on YouTube, you guys. If you check out Joe Rogan, I think he's got Joe Rogan's JRE Moments or something, but it's about a 2-hour interview. It's really interesting.
There's somewhere, I got to tell you about something that just reminded me of something, and it's weird. So when there's a part of when I was in the coma that was being all over the place, but I saw part of it was what I thought it was the drugs, but they said you weren't on any drugs. But anyway, I was seeing everything in 2D. And
I think you told me that.
Yeah, it was weird. I was seeing the people and where I was and everything. I was seeing it all in 2D. And I thought, okay, that's probably just drugs and in the hospital and all that stuff, until it was not long after I came back home. See, the first year after that coma was really not very entertaining for me. But it wasn't awful, but it was awful enough. But I kept having those dreams that kept coming back, and I didn't realize what that was until years later, because I don't know anything about science. And I was going through this 2D world, and I was noticing how people could just kind of turn and they would disappear. And I didn't understand what that was. And it was part of, they couldn't see on the 2D. But it wasn't until I was watching an episode of all shows, The Big Bang Theory, and Sheldon was talking to his friends about flatland and about strings and circles on flatland and all that. I'm like, oh, that's the 2D world I was in, but they were people. And it was weird. But anyway, all that weird stuff, I love it, you guys. I really say dive into whatever you want to know about it and just play with it. If it resonates with you, then it's fine.
Well, he was talking more about the 4D existence and where we're going. Like, he really was actually very spiritual. I'm trying to save this. It's not letting me save it. I'll have to try and remember I'll try and post it in the group for you guys. It's called, give me one sec here. I had it and I was trying to save it. It's called Joe Rogan Experience number 2152, Terrence Howard. And it was from only about a week ago, if that. So it was really interesting to listen to it. And and they were even talking about how people perceive him only as an actor. And this guy, I don't think has ever gone to university, or you guys will call college. And it was like, this guy could be an engineer when you hear him. And then the fascinating things he was talking about, remembering being in the womb. Now, there is some people that can take you back through that, actually, through hypnosis. And some people just remember it. So now, Roger.
There are a few. I do believe that there are some people that just do remember. I mean, I've come across a couple of people that they just have that memory.
Yep.
But they don't remember. They remember a certain part, but you know what? I don't know, because I've talked to some of those people, and they're like, it drives them crazy sometimes because they still can't put the entire story together.
I've seen a few people. Teal Swan, who's in the spiritual field, quite a few years ago, she had a friend that remembered the whole time being in the womb. And Terrence Howard remembers pretty early on too. And a lot
prior to that. I mean, a lot of stuff prior to the room.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was going to say, though, with Terrence Howard, though, what he says is he remembers. He describes as a soul, he just remembers falling. And all of a sudden, he said he was in this super tight, confined, compressed state. Yes, Kathy Hanley Little, you're right. I'm just going to say hi to Julie Jean Bassett. She says hi to everybody. Now, this is interesting. So Kathy says, I love him talking about the periodic table and frequency. He did. And I didn't know this. It wasn't from Terrence Howard, but ether used to be on the periodic table before 1921. Now, the reason I mention it is he really builds off of that and what carbon and hydrogen actually are. Like, did you know, for example, that chloroform, which is something, especially back in the old days, he used to use to put you out for surgery. And he was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, chloroform, I think I want to say hemoglobin, which makes up our blood. And he said, out in the center of ours, there's an iron molecule, but in chloroform, I think it was it mercury or something, but they are identical structurally. Like I said, the whole thing is fascinating the way he lays it out. He even compares us to simians, or, apes, the great apes, and that they have 2 extra chromosomes. So are they more evolved than we are? It was a fascinating interview. So you guys, I'll post it.
Yeah, it was about 2 years or a year. Yeah, about a year after I was sick, when I started having a few visitations again. I told you about that little alien dude. He used to sit at the side of my bed, and he showed me this one thing. He was trying to teach me something, and I was not catching on because I'm sitting there going, I don't get it. But anyway, because I'm honest, and they knew that, but I think they use me for certain things because I'm so simple-minded, so I can explain things simply. I swear to God, if they gave me a bunch of stuff to say, I'd mess it up. Who knows? But anyway, this little dude was telling me how on planets all over, and my guides had said to me afterwards too, physics aren't the same on every planet.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I thought, oh God, that makes sense. And it's not that, it's because there's more or less added on. And I was talking to you when we were talking about the periodic table, because I'm sure in other places, the periodic table, it's different. And it's funny that something used to be on there that isn't on there, and that they go, it's because things always change. Things are always changing, you guys, no matter where you are.
I don't think it changes. If you really want to know what my thoughts are, is I think there's something very important with ether, that as we've become, quote unquote, more evolved, the population was made to believe that it was redundant, it was useless. But again, hearing him talk about it, and I keep getting it from spirit to take a look at the ether. I didn't even know ether wasn't on the periodic table, and I should, because I took chemistry in university and all kinds of stuff. I heard it from spirit, which is kind of what drew my attention to it. And then to hear Terrence Howard talk about it, it's just fascinating. So Julie Jean Bassett says, sounds fascinating. I'm going to have to check it out. And Nancy
I'm going to have to check out some ether. Isn't that what they used to put in a cloth to like knock people out or something?
Yeah, like kind of more like a gas. So I don't know. It was just, it was interesting. And like I
Let's
say,
all investigate ether and see, because maybe there's something out there about ether.
I'm not getting all conspiracy, but I heard it from spirit. Kathy Hanley Little said it's a glitch in the matrix. I actually heard it from spirit. Like I told you, I work with two very close friends and we get together every couple of weeks. We have a group that there's 4 of us from all corners of the globe that meet up and we just share, what do we get from spirit? What are we picking up on? What are we seeing? What are we hearing? And I remember that came up. And then I heard Terrence Howard talk about it again. I went, maybe I could dig a little deeper. Who knows? And then the other thing I found from a friend in Australia is this group. I got to find it. Give me 1 sec here as I'm yapping away. But it was remote viewing. And it's a channel on YouTube. And it's actually got quite a bit of interesting stuff from ET. We always share a lot of Farsight. It's called the Farsight channel. And they have a website. I think they offer classes. They've got some free stuff on it, but they've got 3 main remote viewers, and it looks like more along the lines of hosts. Now, you can either agree with it or not, because to me, for example, the one video the person had shared with me was something that's going to be coming up this year in one of the bigger countries in the world. Now, it was fascinating to hear what this woman was remote viewing. And she's part of their regular main 3. Mm-hmm. And I was sharing it with my partner, Del, today, talking to him about it. But I said, the future is not written. As far as I'm concerned, remote viewing, she's tapped into one particular timeline. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen. That's exactly. My point, anyways.
No, I agree with you. That's absolutely true. There's everything, every situation, everything you look at has an ever-going amount of possibilities. So I agree with you. I mean, sometimes we can't really remote view the future. I mean, you can remote view the future if we're on that path.
Sorry guys, I didn't mean to put that up there. I thought I would have to add it to the stage. Well, there is one guy that Lori Williams talks about. Now, she was trained by Lynn Buchanan. He was part of the remote viewing military team. And apparently he's hired by huge corporations because he can very accurately remote view the future. So they will get him to take a look at potential products and look at what the success rate will be in the future. Apparently he's like filthy rich because of this, because he has a very high accuracy rate.
When people, she was talking about a glitch in the matrix. I understand what matrix means. I don't see it as a matrix though. I mean, I know what people are talking about when they say matrix, but I don't. But what I wanted to say when we were talking about like the Mandela effect and all those things, there's a theory, not a conspiracy theory, but it's a theory. And the theory is that you guys know that the world is duplicating itself or splitting off. Okay. It's going, there's 2 ways to go: service to self, service to others, whatever, but it's splitting off. During the split, that's when the matrices happen. That's when the Mandela effects, those stuff, where like Berenstain Bears, that stuff. If you talk, you will know where you are just by talking to other people, and you can tell if they're actually in the same dimension you're in. Because if you remember it one way and they're like, no, it is this way, you guys are in 2 separate places. Because when people talk about the world splitting, it's not that it's literally splitting. You'll never, ever see the split. It'll just, things will start changing to accommodate your views. And that's how you know where you are. So I was just saying, it was a really cool theory. And I thought it does make sense, because some of the stuff that people talked about, I'm like, no, I can swear to God, tell you as a child. I mean, I still have pictures of some of this stuff, even like the grapes on the underwear, you know what I mean? The Fruit of the Loom underwear is different. It's like, no, I know that. We all know that. And then I have part of, which is funny, my father's family who don't remember it, and they're my same age. And I'm like, you don't remember it? I'm like, what timeline were you in 50 years ago? It's like, it's really odd. It's really quite fascinating. I can't tell you what's true and what's not. I just find it all amazingly cool.
Well, he did talk about Terrence Howard. I'm going to answer Julie's question. He did talk about the sun and the distance from the sun to the earth and how much we move each year. And then he got into basically how we create planets, like the universe can create planets. Like I said, he got a little deep, and I do have a science background, but if you just kind of take it for what it's worth and listen to it just with an open mind, it makes a lot of sense. Now, Julie Jean Bassett said, so she was remote viewing a possible future event. She absolutely was remote viewing I found her a little difficult to watch. Very lovely energy, very sweet, made a lot of mouth noises. I don't know, maybe it's just a pet peeve of mine, but I don't know if the microphone was too close or not. I found myself like it was getting to me because you could hear every swallow and every lip smack and it was a lot for me to say that because I'm not a picky person, but it was interesting what she was suggesting. I could see it happening. Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. When you look at like when all the predictions of the end of the world, if you look at it this way, and this I kind of know, but it's very difficult to explain. Like when Nostradamus predicted the end of the world, the people who had absolute faith and went with that probably did go through an experience of the end of the world.
I don't know, because I looked into Nostradamus and I haven't finished it, but I've actually been listening to his. And again, this is just one perspective.
I'm just using him as a thing.
I know, but I wanted to share this since you brought it up. So I'm just listening to it through the person that Dolores Cannon seemed to connect and channel him. Now, she's not the be all to the end all.
I know.
But just hear me out, Dave.
I like her, but yeah.
Oh, do you? Yeah, but hear me out. It was interesting, if there's any truth to it, to the explanation he was giving through the hypnosis sessions about what he really meant and the reason why he wrote things the way he did, because at that time you couldn't write about those kind of things.
No.
And like some of the surgical methods he was using and where he had received them and what he had gotten from them. And it kind of fell into line with the belief that we talk about often in this spiritual field, that past, present, and future all happening at the same time. That's why it would be okay to be able to access him at different points in time. So it wasn't all gloom and doom, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, there is theoretically another way that some people say it too. It's like if we were all in a room and one of us was talking, it's literally just one being that's there. We're creating all of our friends and stuff, all of us, which is part of our personalities as well. It is so weird when you look at it. I mean, I don't know how it goes. I know that we're individuals. That I know. My guys have said that to me over and over. No, you're experiencing individuality. When they say that we're all connected, it doesn't mean that you go into this blob and then all of a sudden you don't exist anymore. But we are connected, as if the thing is that everything comes from the exact same source. Everything does. So whatever that source is to you,
I thought this was cool. Kathy Hanley Little said, I got Julie. She said, our presence changes our future. Well, it does, because if you take the word now, that's gone. That's in the past already.
Yeah, right? It's already gone.
Because that's all we have is the moment that we're in, especially if we choose to mark it, like I just said now. That's in the past, right? I can't go back. I can't change it. Unless I guess I could time travel or something. But so I'm just going to read some of these comments, Dave. So Julie said it also sounds a bit like quantum jumping. It does. And then my guest I had on Monday night, I didn't put his name out there because he's one of those individuals where they would have cut the feed if I put it live. His name is Alfred Labramont Weber. He is an international lawyer. Very interesting. He lives in Canada, but he can't practice in Canada. He is actually from New Orleans, Louisiana. He knows the owner of our network. Going to give him a shout out, Joe Montaldo, who created this great space of UPRN. They're actually close friends. And he came on to talk about the universe, the multiverse, and the omniverse, and time travel. And he shared some of the experiences he's been through. And we had a fascinating conversation. I've known Alfred for quite a while, so it wasn't like I just met him. So,
yeah.
And he's had a lot of ET and what have you, and written some of his books. And what he was talking about was being visited back in 1971 with the version of the book that he actually wrote in real life in, I think it was 2000. I kid you not. And he's not a liar. He's been around for a long time. He's been on a lot of different talk shows. I think he's written 85 books. It was pretty.
Did you hear that?
What was that? What was it?
I don't know. It was a low hum. My computer hummed or something happened.
I don't know. I think, hang on. I think Dell is, he's going to take the car out. Our car needs him up.
Or a phone?
No.
It almost was like as if a phone started vibrating. That's what it felt. No, it sounded like a phone started vibrating.
Well, tell you, if anybody heard that, let us know. That's why I think it might be the car. I can hear it. So Sandra says, Nostradamus said that the only true predictions are those that don't happen.
But that doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Oh, okay, but then she said it through Dolores Cannon, hypnosis subject. Well, yeah, I mean, I believe in Dolores Cannon and I believe in hypnosis and I believe it does bring people back. But I've always learned this, whether you're under hypnosis or not, it's still going through your filter. So that's why Dolores Cannon did so many thousands of people and never said anything to anybody else about what happened, because she knew that as well. But people still said very similar things from one country to the next who never met anybody and did that. That's what I like about Dolores Cannon. I've also had QHHT done. It was a decent experience, but not what I thought it was going to be. Maybe I'll probably have it done again at some point.
It was nice to be able to plug it in. I went through because he called them quatrains, the predictions, not predictions. Yeah. And then you got to meet one of his proteges and went through all that. And it was interesting to hear the perspective and to actually get some, even though it's through somebody's, I guess, the way they perceive it and receive it, right? Yeah. It was interesting to hear from the way it was written, like that I was listening to, what was actually meant versus the way it's perceived now. And he had quite this very dry sense of humor. It could be a little cantankerous, it seemed. And he just couldn't believe how foolish some people could be to twist things. And he was explaining about why he'd said things the way he said it and so on and so forth. I think he presumed that the future, I'm not sure what he did, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but almost like we would be much more advanced and much more intelligent to basically take the pieces of his mind and put it all together, which I don't think anybody could do. I'm sorry.
There's so many versions of us that it really wouldn't, I don't know if it would work or not. But that's interesting, though.
Hello, So Nicole says, I love Jimmy Buffett, and he had a song that says he had a watch that always says now. I love that we are in the moment. Exactly. Nicole says she heard it.
You can't see it, but my clock up there, it stopped on 11:11. It always will be, and it always has been.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay, so Kathy Hannon Little says, yes, it was mind-blowing. Great show and great guest. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I'll probably have him on again. I know him because at the beginning, we can't say the word here on YouTube, but over the last 4 years, I was on an international committee with him that he was heading up, a tribunal, international tribunal, and met quite a few people from around the world. Really cool, amazing, awesome people. And so I've known Alfred for quite a few years. So Nancy says, so didn't that affect his life then if he was told about his book? Hang on, I got to go down further here. Sorry. And is that someone pushing him in a direction he may not have been going, but ended up there due to that person telling him about the book? I can't answer that for you. You'd have to ask him yourself. You can look him up. He's got a site, good points. He's got a site called Omniverse or omniversity.net, I think. And he actually asked permission on the show if he could, I think offers free classes on there as well. So he asked if he could take our show and publish it as a class. And he sent me a message after the show that he did. So you guys can check it out if you want. And those are very good questions you've asked, Nancy, because did it cause a paradox? Right? When you look at time travel, like did exactly what you said. Did he end up writing a book that he never planned on writing? If something, he didn't come back from the future. It was, he describes them, he never calls them men in black or anything like that, but government people, he said, came back and showed him the book that he would be writing. Did he write it because they told him? Kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, that's okay, because I mean, they could have still showed him the book he'd be writing. He still has free will, so he still could have denied it.
But I see what she's saying. Like, did he write the book because he told him to write the book? And she said, how do you know you're supposed to go that way and you aren't just being manipulated? Well, I don't know if you watch the episode or not. And I'm not trying to push the show, but I think it might answer a few of those questions for you. But you could certainly reach out to Alfred and ask him that. But he did talk about it. He just didn't make that statement and leave it at that. He talked at length about it.
Yeah. So, now, Sandra Sharp, she came back and she said this. And now I get it. I totally agree with you, Sandra. Predictions. She meant about the predictions we talked about.
Do you want to read it,
predictions? Yeah. Predictions that don't happen are because some detail or another changed due to the stating of the prediction. I think that's what he meant. I know exactly what that is, because when I've given predictions before, and even though I give like somebody can ask me on a live on TikTok, is something going to happen, or is this going to happen? And I will tell them straight out, where your energy is right now, this is where it's heading.
That's why I always preface mine like that.
You can change it anytime you want. So yes, I do agree with that statement. You can give a prediction, and if some people go with the prediction and don't do anything about it, it'll probably come true. But if somebody gave a prediction that we could change something in the world about, then that would make the prediction no longer true, even though it was.
No, but you're right, because we've talked about this on air and off air. I don't give a lot of predictions. I say that. And I remember us when we go live, and then what would I be saying to somebody about the future? I remember specifically saying that. I just said I don't give predictions about the future, but if it comes through, we do. But again, always what Dave said, I'll always say to people, this is how I see it in this moment on the path you are on now. You could very well veer off this path. There's many things you could do. So that makes a lot of sense.
I've heard that Nancy Noonan. Hi, Jonathan Keyworth.
Hi,
how are you doing?
Okay, you want to read that, Dave?
Yeah, Nancy said, like your palm lines change if you change your life. Same thing. I've heard of that. I've never saw it.
Okay, so I want to ask this of people, and I have hair dye in my hands. I'm not bruised here. So there is an M. I'm not going to trace it properly, but there is an M on my hand, and apparently this is supposed to be kind of rare. I was reading up on this because it was a survey something was asking on one social media thing. It's your left hand, and it makes an M. And just anybody out there, if you look at, it's a big M. So it goes, sorry, I'm trying to see, it goes like this, and it goes down. Then I have a cross line, and it goes down. And they said it's kind of rare. I wouldn't be surprised if you have one, Dave. I'd love to see if anybody else.
Got that. Yeah, I already looked at that one. I got a big M right here. I also have a broken lifeline, which is, I thought, this is my own theory, maybe it's a broken lifeline because I had an NDE. That's where the lifeline broke.
Think that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Okay, so Julie said, I saw a YouTube video about that. I've got the M2, but I would not be surprised that Julie had it either, because it seems like people that are utilizing and working with their gifts, they were referring to magic and stuff, and like spirit, like, you know, psychic and mediumship and stuff. So I think everybody is capable.
Everybody is capable
of
just
doing this, but it's more or less people utilizing it. So what you had said, Nancy, I'd never heard that before, but that could very well make sense. Like you said, your palm lines change if you can
change.
if you change.
You never know. Yeah, you never know. Maybe they do.
Okay, so Nancy says, were you sick as a child, Lorilei? Like really sick? And what was the split early on in life that affected your life? Looking at your palm, was I sick? Yes, I was. I have always had strep throat till after university, but I had my NDE with a fever of 106 as a little girl. Then when I was 8, I can't say my heart stopped because when I started breathing again, I didn't need CPR, but every night for about 6 months when we moved into our new home till just before I turned 8, till about when the snow fell. And I didn't know anything about the paranormal, but I would wake up every night at 3 a.m. unable to breathe. And they finally diagnosed me with asthma. They didn't know what else it was. It wasn't asthma because as a nurse looking after people with asthma, like this was literally like something was like strangling me, waking up. So yes, I did. Yes, Sandra, but you do our kind of work. She says she has
yeah. I got very interesting. I got when I was, I think it was about 24. When I was 24, I started to show symptoms of Hodgkin's disease. Yet it turned out I didn't have Hodgkin's disease. And I was only sick for like these couple days. And then when they took me to the hospital, they're like, we don't know what's wrong. I mean, they did a biopsy and they took out my lymph nodes to check some stuff back then. But my uncle that I'm named after, his name is Neil and my name is David Neil. He died at 24 from Hodgkin's disease.
That's what you were saying to me.
Yeah, and we look a lot alike. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, "Wow, you look just like your Uncle Neil," and I'm like, mm-hmm. I don't see it exactly myself, but I see our stand the same way. We if you see the picture, some people would go, "David, where were you like born in the 1930s? Look at, is that you?" I'm like, "Nope, it's not me. It's my uncle." But yeah, it's odd how that stuff happened. Am I him? I doubt it, but
I was going to add, so you said, what was the split early on in life that affected your life? I have to be careful about what I say being on YouTube, but I was, well, they say graped, but remind the G as a young girl by a family member at the age of about, I think 4. So probably that would be the event that did.
Yeah.
So. Sandra says she has the M. Like I said, most of the people that are on here are actively using their gifts and stuff. And I think when people do start using them, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe the M just shows up.
I have the video queued up.
Oh, yeah. Because we got a little time yet. We've been yapping away today.
This is just, you guys, I swear to God, this goes faster than Monday nights on the Angel Rock. And I love doing the Angel Rock. But I swear to God, this is the fastest, funnest, most 2 hours of my week. I swear. I love my other show. Nicole has the M. See, Nicole, you have the M. Kathy Hanley Little has the M. There you go. See? Sounds like we have a palm reader here too with Nancy Noonan Kelly. So we'd love to hear what you have to say about the M too. You left part of you behind. That is so sad. I'm so sorry about that. Nancy says, no, that's okay. I think we got that part back. And I have to think.
Yeah. I was going to say, in shamanism, it's calling back the pieces that left you during trauma. Because if you're having a very bad trauma response, a part of you will let go away. And that's where they always say, tell that child that they can come back now. Everything's safe. And
well, what I was going to say is that Julie Jean Bassett, you guys, you need to check her out, juliejeanbassett.com. She is a shamanic practitioner, exactly sort of what you just said, Dave. She's also an incredible animal communicator. And I need to get a hold of you, Julie. I got another one not using the litter box and driving me insane. But anyways, we actually had a session about that. And that's exactly what happened. We called that
the piece.
She was able to help call that piece back. So
I watched a thing with
and thank you, Nancy. That was very
I read a things thank you, soul retrieval.
That's exactly what it was. That's
Sandra, I'm a big fan of Sandra Ingerman, and I've studied a lot of Sandra Ingerman stuff. And they had described how they were doing a soul retrieval in person, and it was really fascinating. And I thought I could do that. And I thought it was just
It
when I
was
was
very
watching it,
powerful. And I
yeah.
can tell you that it made a shift in my health. I had it about 6 months ago, and I'm due to probably go back and have another session with Julie, and I will. Because it was very life-changing. The other thing I just tried out, if you're ever interested, with Sonia Roy. She was on the Angel Rock. She'll be on a couple times a year because she's a really fascinating lady and an incredible healer, shaman, psychic, medium, animal communicator, teacher. I had Psych K done on Mother's Day. That was interesting to look at your life from the moment of conception all the way up to the age of 9 in August. Very fascinating. And it's supposed to help shift belief systems very quickly. Now, that just happened on Mother's Day. These things take time before you start to notice, but Sonia Roy's, that's who it was. So check her out at soniaroy.com too. So David, and oh wait, Julie says, hang on, I'm going to go up a little bit. Lots of people have the M's. I'm not surprised in our chat. So Julie says, yes, shamans do a soul retrieval to get those lost soul pieces back. And she says, Julie says she likes Sandra Ingerman. Okay, so there's a comment here for you, Dave. You want me to read it for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Nancy says, David, you said that to me about the child to me and calling that part of me back when you gave me a reading. Interesting.
Yeah, you can. That's why I said I can do that stuff. There's, I mean, not like Sandra, they do it differently. We were on a thing, but yeah, you can sense in people. You're like, oh yeah, there's a piece of you that you're hiding away yet. All you got to do. To anybody out there, and this isn't a quick fix, and it's not a substitute for any psychiatric help you can make. But a lot of times, if you have a trauma thing that happened to you as a child, you're not telling anybody or not, but you're in a good place now. It's literally just go through a ritual of just sitting with yourself and going, you know what, you can come back now. It's done. It's over with. I know who I am. I am, whatever. And a lot of times that'll get rid of, you'd be surprised on how much stuff we as human beings or souls file away in our head growing up. And sometimes we even forget about it, but there's still enough in the subconscious mind that alters decisions.
Well, I will tell you, my liver, I've had liver issues. I'm not a drinker or anything like that. And I know that a lot of emotion can be stored there. I can tell you mine's gone down by half. So call it the Leo vanity in me, but that definitely shifted. The other thing is, and my belief, and David is a healer, I'm a healer. Most people are healers. They may not look at themselves that way, but if you can sing or you share a part of who you are, your gifts with others, and it helps uplift them, that is healing. But I also believe, because I think it takes a lot of courage and a lot of honesty to take a look in the mirror and see what the issues are, or even help work through maybe something through your childhood. Like what happened to me, for example, I kept getting flashbacks and bits and pieces. So I was pretty sure something like that had happened, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And just to be able to have somebody that's objective doing this kind of work and guiding and leading me through it and giving me the support to deal with it, I'm telling you, it was massive. So that's why, even though I do healing work, I have no problem with going to see other healers too. So if you feel maybe it's so true though, David, I want to say that it's so true what you've said. You don't need to access a healer, but should you have issues or maybe you're not quite sure, nothing wrong with reaching out.
Nothing wrong. Yeah, there isn't. Exactly. When I was my coma, my near-death experience helped me remember some stuff from my childhood that I had blocked out completely. And I knew them completely, like second by second when I came out of it. So
you aren't even the same person though. I didn't know you before your NDE, but I've seen pictures. You and I have had so many conversations about who you were. I've seen what you look. You don't even look the same. Like if you saw a picture of you before your NDE and after, there's no way I would think like I didn't see a close up one. I've seen when you were playing, like I think you were playing an electric guitar or something in the picture.
Yeah,
There's no way I would have said, "Oh gosh, there's you, Dave." I would never have known it was you.
Yeah, I just look. Yeah, I look a little different. Things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I look better on film though. Here.
Shall we play our scary video?
Let's play a scary video, guys, and comment on it.
Yes. Okay. But before we do, I always forget to do this because it gets so deep in the conversation. Oh, yeah. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with myself, Lorilei Potvin, and my amazing friend and gifted co-host, David Hanzel. And you're listening to it on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, to UPRN. So hang on, you guys. Okay, so where I went, because actually heard this. The guy that does Nuke's Top 5 apparently is very sick and he's in the hospital. And then I heard an update in the same video that he's now out and recuperating, but that's why he hasn't put anything out new in a little bit. But Bizarre Bub did. I'm going to give a shout out. I don't think Shannon and Sean are here. Sean's one of your big fans. I actually met them in person out shopping, had no makeup on or anything. I've known Shannon for years and I've met her husband, Sean, too. But Sean just couldn't say enough about you, Dave. He just thinks you're amazing. Well, I think you're amazing. Everybody thinks you're amazing, but
only when I pay the right people. Only when the check's clear.
The only thing is that Shannon actually was the one that introduced me to Bizarre Bub. Go ahead, Dave. I'll get it all set up. Yeah,
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah,
not an emergency this time.
No, go ahead. I'll wait till you come back. Actually, Dave, I'll get it all queued up, and then you can watch it with us. So I found out why, Jonathan, you had said just use your mouse and scroll to make it bigger. I now know why it doesn't work, because I do this in a weird way, because sometimes we have quite a few pages open, and then my computer lags. So what I do is I throw it in Messenger to me. Then I have control on Facebook and I open it from there. So that's why I may not be able to make it as big as I like, but you guys know, just as a reminder, if you're just tuning in as well, that we have a group called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel on Facebook. And so you can join that. We'd love to have you. It's a private group. We kept it private just so, people can feel comfortable if you want to share pictures or maybe an experience, or you've got questions or even show ideas and stuff. It's a safe space to have these kind of discussions. So I think, how many are we at? We're closer to 100 than we are 200. But when we get to 200, Dave and I will start going live in there every now and then and doing some free one question readings, or maybe you guys have a topic you want to talk about, or some teaching, or you name it. There he is.
I was ambushed by 4 hoodlums out in my kitchen.
They're real hoodlums. They're waiting for Daddy to share the treats.
That's what they were all waiting there. I was like, you got to wait a minute.
Yeah, you got to wait. Okay, so this one's a little bit hard to see. The only thing with YouTube, I can't make it bigger, and I didn't have time to download it. Nancy says, nope, I wear makeup to the store. Nancy, I used to. I was always been taught by my mother that you never go out looking anything but your best. But my partner I've been with for the last 15 years just said to me, why do you put all this stuff on? Like, I like you just the way you are. And I realized, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it, because I think when you look good, you feel good. Yeah. But if I just have to run out for something, sometimes I'm not so fanatical. Maybe because I'm getting older.
I had a friend of mine years ago. I swear to God, this girl's self-confidence was through the roof. She could literally throw on a burlap sack and some eyeliner, and everybody in the store would fall over head over heels for this girl. And I was like, what? Why? And she's like, because she was pretty. She looked like Madonna back when Madonna was relevant. Like, I shouldn't say it like that. I'm sorry, Madonna. I love you. Back when she was really, really young.
Yeah.
And that
she didn't have plastic surgery yet. How about that?
No, she had nothing. And this girl, I swear, she just go out, I look fine. I look beautiful. And that's people said, yep, okay.
No, I just realized that I thought I wear false eyelashes all the time. The only reason why is because if there are times I do have to jump on video and don't have time to look my best. So at least my eyes don't look like they're fading back in my head if I'm on a video or something. So, but Yeah, I've gotten out of it. I will wear makeup and I enjoy wearing makeup. I have tons of it. I'm just not as dedicated as I used to be. Nancy says it's my war paint, how I deal with the day. I can deal with anything with my war paint. And exactly that, you got to do what makes you feel good about you. I always did it because I was taught that. And I realized that, yeah, I don't have to do it. If I feel like it, I do it. And if I don't, I don't. Whatever makes you feel good.
I grew up pretty much in the 80s. So men, women, everybody wore makeup.
David, we're the same age. So yeah, we grew up at the same
age. Yeah, everybody wore makeup then.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
It just
all right. Here's the video.
Older than you even.
Now I just do my hair a lot. So
okay, are you ready? Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit hard to see at first, but the good thing is he goes back because I didn't see it at first. But hang on.
At around 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, a teenage girl named Mildred Neva wakes up. At around 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, a teenage girl named Mildred Neva wakes up to find her dog snuggled up on her blanket. Rarely does her dog ever do this. For once, her dog has finally chosen to nestle up in bed with her and her sister, who both share the same bed. Although initially caught off guard, she proceeds to grab her phone to record this moment. But as she records, something happens that leaves her extremely terrified. After looking closely at the footage, she saw it. This is what she caught.
I didn't see it at first. I can't be sure, but it almost sounded like the dog was growling a bit. So watch the replay, far right corner, middle, at the end of the bed. I didn't see it at first, but he's gonna make it bigger so you can. Nothing there now.
According to viewers, it now makes sense as to why her dog had suddenly decided to snuggle up in bed. Either someone or something was in the room. The only other person inside was Mildred's sister, who was lying in bed beside her. But whoever, or whatever this might have been, is completely unknown to Mildred. They just seem to appear out of nowhere before vanishing in less than a few seconds. This definitely spooked Mildred, but it's the zoomed-in screenshot of this clip that keeps her up at night. As many viewers have noted, something about this image makes them feel immensely uneased. They don't know what was captured, but they think it's best if Mildred and her sister slept elsewhere. While Mildred has made no further videos regarding this clip, viewers continue to speculate as to what exactly was captured in this footage. Just who or what was this?
You'll see it better in the group when I post it.
See, for me, it just looks like a girl's face.
Yeah, but where did it come from, Dave?
In this next video.
No, I mean that's creepy enough, but the face isn't actually creepy. If I were to think there was someone in the room, I'd be like, quit hiding under my blanket.
Dave, I'm gonna send. You'll see it in the group, but I'll send you the link. It's a creepy face. Like it's not like a monster face. It looks like somebody. You know where you think of like. Have you ever seen that movie? Is it Oliver, like with the little, not the animated Disney one, but they're all of those grimy, grungy clothes from the 1900s and kind of like chimney sweep kind of looking. That's what that looks like to me.
Oh, really?
Crazy hair.
Oh, well, maybe I got to look at it differently on my computer. I'm like, it just looks like a girl with a blanket over half her head, half her face.
It's creepy. When you guys see it, I'll put the link in the group and the link to this, you guys will see. I know it's a little bit hard to see. Now, this one was weird, and I thought we had seen this one before. I'll preface it because there was a video clip. I think Carrie Lynn shared it with me quite a while ago, and it was somebody filming their neighbor's garage. They were out of town, and it looks like this shadow was zipping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This isn't the same video, but it's similar. You'll see what I mean. I'll play it for you. There are subtitles, so hopefully you guys can read them because it's not even in English.
Two friends are chatting inside a car when they immediately go silent upon noticing something strange in a building nearby.
That's a dog, by the way.
Now, the first half of this footage doesn't really show anything peculiar, All that's seen is someone who, for some reason, lying on someone who they don't know is already strange enough. It's the following detail that both friends find very strange. Whoever this is pacing in a way that they've never seen before. They don't seem to be walking, as they mention. Watching closely, they continue to record when suddenly they see this.
That's the dog, by the way.
Correte. ¿Qué es lo que hace, no?
Dog's whining too.
Sí, porque no es que sube y baja así desde...
Just when they thought that things couldn't get stranger, this happens. Out of nowhere, the person inside this building begins to pace back and forth, but extremely fast. It almost seems a little too fast for anyone to be able to do. The two friends watch in disbelief, feeling creeped out by this eerie sight. Whoever, or whatever this might be, appears to be moving at a speed beyond human capacity. While there has yet to be an update as they plan to reach out to the supposed person who lives there, both friends remain unsure as to who or even what was caught on camera.
It's just repeating it quickly.
Okay.
So I don't know. Where do you think that was? That was weird, unless he got the Flash as a neighbor.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of unimpressed by that one because it could be so many different things.
What can you think of that you were sitting out there and your neighbor's window with your dog, and your dog starts to really get hyper?
Well, I thought
the foot starts going like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I thought it was more freaky that somebody was staring out the window that didn't live there and filming it. That was more.
That wouldn't freak you out to see that in your neighbor's window.
Well, no, it would at first, but then I would do.
And then it speeds up. Like that was like a blur almost.
I know, but I would you'd have to see. For one, we'd have to ask ourselves, one, is it a form of pareidolia? Are we thinking that we're seeing something that's human shaped going back and forth? Because we can't say for sure. And then two, is it a light reflection or a car coming back and forth? Or is there somebody in the room who's moving a shade back and forth? There's a million things. Not saying it's any of those things.
I understand that you're seeing it on a small screen. When you see it on a bigger screen, and to me, on a bigger screen, it almost looks like it's female, and when it goes back, it's male. And I didn't want to say it during the video. When you watch it, at one of the times, just before it starts to speed up, there's a bit of a spark in the window on the right-hand side when you see. And it looks like it's almost two different people going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You see what you see when you see. I'll send you the link.
When I very first watched it, I didn't even see running back in the window. When they said, but watch what happens next, there's a spot on the right side of the window that looked like a dark spot that was growing and going. And I thought, that's odd, but that's not what even they're talking about.
This isn't scary. The other one will be hard to see, but you can.
Okay, let's
I want to do the office voice. This one's really cool. It's not really scary. It's kind of cool. Let's see.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too.
Pause it. I think I went too far. Hang on.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm over here.
Okay.
Oh,
I think I found it. What did you want to say?
All right. Guys, ready? I was going to say we'll read Jennifer's comment after this.
Okay, go ahead. Read Jennifer's comment. Go ahead.
Jennifer says,
go ahead, read Jennifer's comment, Dave.
Okay, do animals get scared of spirit or just negative energy? From what I know, animals don't really have like fear, like our kind of fear. They do have a fear, but no, it's not as much scared. I believe it's as much as it's kind of like fear is a reaction that we're taught to have to something. And then during our lifetimes, it comes out in either a scream or a shaking or goosebumps for some people, or hair stands up for some people. If it's scared, like Lorilei's goosebumps means truth to her. So when she gets goosebumps, it means truth. So there's stuff behind every emotion we have. I do know that animals, they feel odd with the energy. The energy disturbs them in some way. It's not an actual fear. The energy is disturbing. That's kind of how I see it. It's not I think a lot of us like to imprint humanness onto an animal, and it's not.
I have a different answer. So
okay.
I do believe, depending on the species, I think all animals know what fear is, because fear is a survival emotion.
Yeah, well, they know that.
Let me finish. So, for example, with a dog that is afraid, like, it can be aggressive sometimes, and like somebody else say that dog is a menace, it's a danger to society, and it bites, it attacks, it does whatever. But say you get someone like Julie or David or myself working with it, or even a really good trainer, and you start to realize by observing the behavior that really what it is fear, aggression. The dog is afraid. Cats can be afraid because they hiss, they spit, they make themselves bigger, what have you. With spirits, okay, depending on the species, because the first thing when I'm working with somebody with the paranormal, one of my part of my questionnaire, I will ask them, do you have small children or animals around? Now, do animals always react in fear to a spirit? No, but they can see things and hear things and smell things and sense things, including picking up telepathically, I believe, when there is a spirit near. My dog tells me if there's something in my home. And Julie actually has told me that my dog is so incredibly psychic and connected to the universe and the energy and what have you. But I know by my dog and one of my cats if I have something in my home. Do they act like they're scared? No, but my dog will go in circles, like it's an open kind of concept. She'll go in circles. She'll be smelling the ground. She'll stop. She'll come back and she'll look at me like, Mom, and she'll lead me to where it is. And at first I didn't pick up what it was. And she showed me, and I have pictures of what I caught where she was taking me. And my cat, the same thing. If the one cat, she's actually over here. I know by her behavior that there's something there. So they don't always react in fear, but depending on the species.
Let me clarify for just a minute. The reason, okay, we can call it fear that way. I understand what you mean. So that, if my cat runs from something, I say he's scared or he fears that. What I'm saying is the fear is different because of this. When something's after us, our mind plays scenarios. So if you see a ghost in your house, your mind's playing a scenario. It could get me. It could harm me. It could hurt me. I can see it. It could strangle me. It could do all this. We have that built-in thing. Animals just have the instinctual fear. It's, I think animals are more fight or flight.
I don't know, because like the one video I was going to show, we didn't get a chance, but I'll post it. There's a woman that has an completely empty shed with a lock that has a combo lock, and it pops open while she's filming, and the dog goes to investigate. The dog is very cautious, and I think the hackles are up, like it's like, what the heck is this? This is strange. So it can get a protective thing, same as a cat. So I think they can get in protection mode. So I wouldn't say they'd necessarily always be afraid, but if they don't know what it is and you know your animal well, you're going to know by its reaction. Something weird and strange is here. Now, is it showing fear? Is it showing curiosity? I've had my dog sometimes not pay any attention, and I know there's something here.
I still tell people, like, when they blow off fireworks like this weekend, please, people, do not blow off fireworks around animals this weekend. Okay. Especially here in the States, it's Memorial Week, so they do that. But I do understand if fireworks are off and I see all the cats run outside, I'm like, you just scared the cats. So I do say stuff like they fear something, but I just mean they don't look at it the same way we are.
I think it depends on what it is. And I'm speaking just from dogs and cats. Now, Julie added dogs and cats can all pick up on spirit. Horses too. I have seen many a horse.
Well, I think all animals are.
No, but didn't want to take their owner. They were going for a ride down a certain pathway, and as the horse was not going there, no how, no way, they couldn't see anything. And sure enough, I don't know if they picked up something on the recording or they picked up an apparition or something. The horse picked up on it. Horse said, "Nope, no how, no way."
Yeah. I see. I like it better when they say horses get spooked. I understand spooked, but I don't understand the fear. I guess that's just, you know what it is though? I'm just going to shut up because I'm basically just splitting hairs on a label of something.
And so, we're out of time. So how about that's a good time? Yeah.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening tonight. If you want to know more about me or get a hold of me, you can go to theywhispertome.com. I never, ever will private message anybody for a reading. The only place you can get one is either on one of my links on my TikTok or from my website. Follow me on TikTok at Medium David Hanzel, at Instagram at Medium David Hanzel. Facebook is They Whisper to Me, and YouTube is They Whisper to Me. Thanks, you guys, so much. I'm going to hand it over to Lorilei, and please join our group, the thing at the foot of the bed on Facebook.
Yes. And same thing. I never message people for readings or say, I'm picking this off you. You can get a hold of me. The best way is on facebook.com/AngelRock. I am working on my website because I know when someone goes to my website, I get notified and it hadn't been updated in years. So I'm working on it. I'll let you guys know when it's active. And right now, though, that's the best place to be able to book a reading. You ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook. Like I say, facebook.com/AngelRock, or better yet, fastest way, Messenger on Facebook. I usually have my phone with me and I get notified right away. I am on every social media platform, either under Lorilei Potvin or the Angel Rock. I have two groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal and the Angel Rocker Tribe for all things more spiritual. Please stay tuned, you guys, if you're enjoying what you're seeing. It's the second night of the Outer Realm with our station manager and host, my brain went blank. Michelle DeRoche, our co-host, Amelia Pisano. So stay tuned for that. And I'm going to add Julie's comment. I always know when Memorial Day is in the States because we have the May Long or Victoria Day weekend the weekend before. So Julie added, yes, I hate the fireworks. Dogs and cats run off more often during the fireworks. Birds lose direction, major impact on animals as well as our veterans. And she's very right about that. So if you can avoid the fireworks, you'd be doing a lot of living beings, basically not cause a lot of trauma for a lot of living beings here if you can avoid them at all costs. So everybody's putting great comments here. We really, really appreciate it, you guys. Don't forget to tune in on Monday to the Angel Rock, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. I forgot to check who's coming on. It's going to be a good guest, I promise. And we stay strong, you guys. Are you ready?
Yep. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed? Oh, I don't know if it went. Well, we're trying one of these times.
One of these days. Julie said, buy food for a shelter instead of purchasing fireworks. Yes.
Right.
Love it. All right, you guys. Same time, same space next week. We'll see you. We love y'all. Have a safe and wonderful weekend if you're celebrating Memorial Day or another bank holiday, long weekend, whatever it is. And we will see you next week. Okay, everybody. Love ya.
Bye.